Welcome to Dose of Social Season 2, Episode 1. Lindsay and I are here in Nashville, Tennessee at the beautiful Sapphire Suite, which is our amazing sponsor for Season 2. The Sapphire Suite is a beautiful co-working space for entrepreneurs in the Nashville, Franklin area of Tennessee. Thank you, Sapphire Suite, for having us. We're so happy to be here.
Cheers.
Cheers. We have some really amazing local guests this season, one of them being the founder of the Sapphire Suite herself, Tammy Osborne. Super excited to talk to Tammy this season about the importance of cultivating community with entrepreneurs. We've got a great lineup for this season. So excited. To kick off Season 2, we are talking today about your planning for 2025. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kayla, have you planned for 2025?
I am in the process currently.
Good job. Good job. So if you're listening and you have not planned for 2025 yet in your business, you are not alone. Kayla is right here with you. And so am I. But our clients are good. No worries. All right. So, Kayla, 2025 is here. I know we just came off of Q4, busy, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, holidays.
Crazy.
Lots of chaos. And now it's Q1 is here.
It's a refresh. We're starting over. Lindsay, when it comes to planning for 2025, what is the first thing a small business needs to do?
So when you're planning for 2025, the one thing I tell business owners and brands is to ask themselves one question. And that one question is, what are my business goals? And it's something that you may know right off the bat, and it may be something you don't know right off the bat. And if you don't, that's okay. Think about it. Think about what your goals are. And then drill down and think about what your goals are for social media. So how can social media help support my overall business goals?
So, Lindsay, there's an acronym for this called SMART goals. Can you explain what that acronym is and how people can set SMART goals for their business and social media?
Oh, I love SMART goals. Huge fan of SMART goals from my social media workshop back in the day.
Which I attended. That's how we met.
So awesome. Okay, so you want to make sure that whatever your business goals are, your social media goals are, that they're SMART goals. So SMART is an acronym, like Kayla mentioned, and here's what it stands for. So the S in SMART goals stands for specific. So making sure that your goal is specific. So something like, I want to grow my social media following in 2025. Is that specific, Kayla?
It is not. What about, I want to go viral?
No. That is not specific either. So I want to grow my following by X% each month. That's specific. We'll take that. But you also want to make sure your goal is measurable. So how are you going to measure success? So if I was looking to grow my followers by a certain percentage each month, one way I could measure it is by tracking my follower count, making sure I'm looking at that on a month-by-month basis. The A is for attainable. So making sure that your goal is actually something that you can reach, that it's attainable for you. And then that ties in with the R in SMART goals, which is realistic. Making sure that your goals are realistic. And I would say, I want my video to go viral. Not realistic. But the big one too here is the T, which is time driven. So making sure that your goals have a timeline attached to them, because a goal is just a dream with a deadline. I love that quote.
So talking about goals, let's also get into KPIs. Can you explain what KPI stands for and what that is?
Oh, I love KPIs. So the Dose Dictionary, KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator. And key performance indicators are metrics that you are going to track on a regular basis to measure the performance for your business. So a KPI could be something like your follower count, your engagement rate. What percentage of people are engaging with your content based on the number of people that are following you? It could be your email subscribers. A KPI could be how much you're growing on your email list. Another KPI could be conversion rate. So out of all the people that come and bring website traffic to your website, what percentage of those people are converting into customers? So KPIs are super important for your business and when you're setting your goals and making sure that you are tracking those on a regular basis. So some KPIs that I look at from, and this is a little bit broader than social media marketing, but from a digital standpoint, is one of the big KPIs that we look at for performance marketing is something called ROAS, ROAS. And ROAS stands for return on ad spend. So for every dollar I spend, how much am I getting in return on my ad spend? And how is that tracking month over month? So that's a real big one. And there's lots of KPIs that you can track for your business. And the beauty of KPIs is there's no right or wrong when it comes to KPIs. It's what matters to you and your business and making sure that your KPIs map back to your business goals. So Kayla, if someone is looking to establish KPIs for his or her business, where's a good place to start?
You can start by looking at past reports, past performance. Typically with new clients, we'll run an audit. So that's usually our benchmark. We look at where your social media is currently at. But if it's a current client, we can look at the last report that we did. We might put together a year-to-date report just to kind of have everything in general and then set goals from there.
Yeah, it's really important to establish some baselines for your social media metrics. So even if you're working with a client or your social media, in your opinion, was not up to par last year, you still want to look at your past performance and establish some sort of baseline or benchmark metrics that you can start comparing month over month. So what's a good time period to look at, Kayla, when you're looking at KPIs?
I think it depends on what the goal is.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, it depends on the goal and the client and what their goals are as well. But for organic social media, we're typically looking at follower growth month over month. We're looking at views on reels, what types of reels are performing better than other types of reels. We're also looking at shares and saves, link clicks, profile visits, how many people are following you. You can see in the analytics on the back end of Instagram how many follows you've gotten off of a certain post. So it's a good way to gauge what content's really working and what's not working. And if something's not working, don't bring it into 2025.
Leave it behind in 2024. We're past that. I would say another metric that is valuable for a business owner from a social media perspective are your story views. Mm-hmm. I still see in 2025 a lot of businesses not posting to stories as frequently as they should be. And I think that's another KPI that you can look at is how can I grow my story views and the number of people that are viewing my story, ideally on a daily basis. I mean, stories are great. I love stories.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll see more engagement through your stories than your feed posts in general. One thing I was recently looking at with a client is she had a lot of views on her reel, but it didn't get a lot of likes. And so we looked at the back end of the post and you could see the number of followers versus non-followers that saw it, but we didn't get any follows off of the post. So there was 95% of non-followers that saw the video and then didn't really take action on it. So looking at certain things like that and figuring out what you can do to get those people to take action.
And I would say from a social media perspective, views on a reel are more important than likes in 2025.
I agree.
You heard it here first. Dose of Social. Focus on the views.
Before we dive back in, we wanted to give a quick shout out to our incredible Season 2 sponsor, the Sapphire Suite.
Are you looking for a space that inspires creativity, fosters connection, and supports you in growing your business? Located in the heart of Franklin and Cool Springs, Tennessee, the Sapphire Suite is a co-working space designed exclusively for entrepreneurs and business owners. Whether you need a stylish spot to host meeting, a quiet corner to focus, or a supportive community of diverse thinkers who will challenge and support you, this is the place to be. Subscribe to our newsletter and receive a free day pass to experience our amazing community of business owners for yourself.
This episode of Dose of Social was brought to you by the Sapphire Suite. Thank you so much to the Sapphire Suite for sponsoring Season 2 of Dose of Social.
So Lindsay, for a small business that is taking their goals and taking their KPIs, how can they put that into a marketing plan or a social media plan for 2025?
Oh, yeah, good question. So once you know your goals and you know what your KPIs are and you're going to measure it, you want to put a plan into place to achieve those goals. So a great place to start is by building out a marketing roadmap or a marketing calendar. And this doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be a simple Google sheet that you're using to track all your marketing activities. You could do it by quarter. You could do it by month. You could do it by week. But something that creates a roadmap where you're looking at all your business activity on a month-to-month or week-by-week basis. So things that you're tracking could be events that you're going to participate in for 2025, any trade shows you're going to attend, any new products or services that you're going to be launching and when, and building out a plan and a roadmap for that. Any types of promotions, focus, and then also holidays. So looking at what the holidays are going to be. Like, we have clients that perform really well around Valentine's Day and Mother's Day. So we know that we're going to pick up on our marketing activity around those holidays. And of course, we just came off of the holidays and Black Friday and Cyber Monday, which is a big deal for essentially every brand these days.
Lindsay, I'm pretty sure in our resources center, we have a free 2025 holiday list.
We sure do.
We also have a content calendar template in our resources center to implement everything that Lindsay was talking about. So you can plan everything out in one place.
Yeah, having that calendar is huge because you can segment by tab. So we have clients that will segment by marketing channel. So maybe one tab on the sheet is for email, another is for ads, another is for social. And then if you're doing a social specific calendar, you could segment by platform. So marketing calendar is really great to have that roadmap and really look at everything holistically too, and making sure that you're planning things out. Events are a great place to start. Holidays are a second great place to start. And then looking at your own business calendar and filling in the blanks from there. All right, so Kayla, we were talking a little bit about the marketing calendar and the social media calendar and how you could potentially segment your social media calendar by platform. How do you view social media planning by platform for your clients?
It usually depends on the client and their target audience. Obviously, the client usually does or should have a target audience already in place, because that's not necessarily something your social media manager can do for you. But you will still have a different type of target audience on each platform. So for example, Facebook might be a little bit older. TikTok might be a little younger. So you really want to frame the captions to go along with each platform.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And another good point to make about platforms is scope. Do you have the bandwidth to create video content? Because social media is not as simple as it used to be. It's not, oh, I'm going to post a photo and that's it. It's, oh, I'm going to post a carousel of 10 photos. Oh, now I can support up to 17 photos. Yeah, I need 17 photos. Or you're going to create a reel, and a reel is going to be a series of photos and videos that you take over the course of a period of time or whatever it is. But all of that content takes time for your social media manager to create. So going back to our SMART goals, you also want to make sure that if you have a platform specific channel strategy, that your goals are also realistic, that you have a budget attached to achieving those goals in those specific areas. Because if you don't have access to photography or videography or those types of resources, then it may be harder to attain your specific goals on a platform like Instagram or TikTok in 2025.
And I think that's important to remember, because if you are scoped with a social media management company for 3 posts a week, you're getting 2 reels a month. You need to keep in mind that that's only 2 reels a month on TikTok. So if you don't have the video content and you're paying them to create that content specifically for the month, it's going to hold you back on certain platforms. So really making sure you also have the content to deliver to your social media team to hit those goals that you've put in place.
Ideally, you'd want to be posting reels twice a week, at least, I would say, as a growing business. What do you recommend?
I mean, it really depends on their budget. Twice a week would be great, but a lot of people might not have the budget for that. So for smaller businesses that don't have a budget for 2 reels a week, what would you suggest?
I would suggest that they post to stories more regularly. So making sure that you're super active on stories and building an audience and a following there. And that can just be simple videos of you talking to the camera, or your employees talking, but being consistent and showing up on stories every day, and then posting to your feed and posting reels when you have the bandwidth or the content to do so. So being realistic with your strategy per platform is super important. A lot of the platforms also offer live streaming and in-video experience. So like using those in-platform tools, like stories for Instagram, just going on and creating a quick story, popping on. It takes a minute out of your day, not even a few seconds, but your audience feels that connection with you. So building that connection between your brand and your audience is super important too. All right, so we've talked a lot today, Kayla, about planning and things that you should consider in your content calendar and setting your goals and setting your KPIs and measuring it, reporting back on those goals on a monthly or weekly or bi-weekly basis, I think is another important thing. I think another important thing with your social media planning or any type of marketing planning for 2025 is being open to change gears based on performance. So what I mean by that is just because you're focusing on a campaign in social, if it doesn't perform well, it doesn't mean you have to run it for the entire time. You could decide to cut your losses and turn it off at any time. And I think that's also the beauty of digital marketing in 2025 as well.
I think another thing we haven't touched on yet, Lindsay, is budgeting for social media marketing and digital marketing in 2025.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about budget, Kayla. My favorite topic. All right. So I guess a good place to start is, how do you set a budget for your marketing channels or your social media channels in 2025? And a lot of that is based around your goal. So let's say you're a direct-to-consumer business and your goal is to hit $1 million in revenue in 2025. Okay, so you would back that in. You say, okay, $1 million over 12 months, map that out, and then make sure that you're planning for an ad budget. Typically, when I work with businesses, I tell them at least a 10% budget for advertising to sales ratio. But honestly, if you're a new brand, you're going to need more than that because you don't have brand awareness. People don't know who you are. So you're paying for brand awareness and you're paying for the sale at the same time. So making sure that you create a realistic budget. If your goal is $1 million in sales and your budget is $500 a month in ads, that may not be a realistic goal. That is most likely not. That is not a realistic goal for your business. So making sure that you set goals that are realistic based on your budget and your revenue goals. So I would always start with revenue and back into a budget from there.
Yeah, and I would also keep in mind your budget with your social media manager. So again, talking about realistic goals. If you are looking to post 5 days a week, 2 of those days being reels, you're looking to post on 3 to 4 platforms, and your budget is $500 a month, that's not very realistic either.
No. And it's not fair to your social media manager either. That's a lot And we've talked about this topic a lot in the past on Dose of Social, but making sure that you are also very specific with your social media manager about what your goals are. Because in 2025, your goals for organic social media should be brand awareness and content creation. It is very difficult for a new brand or a brand with no paid advertising spend to gain a lot of traction organically on social media in 2025. And if you are listening and you're thinking, hey, Lindsay, that's not true. My brand has a lot of organic traffic. Yay! I'm so happy for you because that's awesome. And it's rare and you should be like shouting from the rooftop. And you probably also have done a lot to get to that point. Maybe you've posted a lot of stories or you've built a really strong connection with your audience. So kudos to you. But if for those of you who are listening who have not done those things and are starting at ground zero, you're just starting to build your brand and your audience, be realistic about your goals for social media in 2025. Make sure your goals are attainable and realistic, and you're focusing on brand awareness and content creation.
I think also making sure you're giving your social media manager all the tools they need to hit your goals. So if you have specific goals, but you don't have any content to help attain those goals, that's going to be a bit of a challenge as well.
Yeah, making sure that you set up your social media manager for success, because their success is your success and your success is their success. And when you're all successful, we all win. All right, Kayla, anything else that you can think of? We've covered a lot in this first episode. This is really a good dose to start off the year with. Anything else you can think of?
Nothing else I can think of, but if you're needing help or looking for a place to start, definitely head to our resources page on our website. We have content calendar templates, social media holiday templates.
And if you are someone who's listening to this and feels like you need some more help in identifying what your goals for your business should be in 2025 and how you create those KPIs for your business, Kayla and I also have a Dose of Social membership where you can schedule a call with us and we can help you with those items. So head to doseofsocial.com and click on the membership section in our website. All right, Kayla, thanks so much. This was awesome. I love Nashville. I can't wait. Let's go party.
Yes, cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for listening,
Thank you.
everyone. Ciao.